And we're going to kick this on a little bit early. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you're having a cool Thursday evening. Here we go with another one of these. And tonight we're going to be painting some Walking Dead. Look at Mr. Ezekiel here. So we're going to work on Ezekiel. I'm going to have to actually Google what the miniature looks like. So, Walking Dead. There it is. So we're going to see what this miniature looks like. And, oh, I'm going to refresh my chat window here. There we go. So, yeah, we've got a few different Walking Dead minis that we're working on as part of this commission. You know, a bunch of Survivor stuff. So, but yeah, cool looking miniature. I mean, he's the only resin miniature in this batch. But overall, fairly simple design. But let's get to it, man. Let's get this guy underway. So he has denim pants. So denim is what I like to do for denim. I like to do a little color here that's usually not a very good contrast paint, but it is if you know a couple of tricks how to use it. First part of the trick is how to find it, because I cannot find it here. Here it is. Leviathan blue. Okay. We're just gonna I'm just gonna do a quick little a little 1-to-1 with Leviathan blue. We're going to make some denim out of it, okay? And we're going to, might be a little thinner than a 1-to-1. But all good, man. Okay. So a little Leviathan blue. Let's get his blue jeans underway here. And yeah, there's a lot of survivors as part of this commission. You can see Leviathan blue is usually a lot darker, a little more opaque than this, so it's not the best contrast paint. But you can see here with a little thinning, it's actually, you know, it's somewhat convincing. Set of denim here. Okay, so I'm just going to get this on here. And we're going to get him all blocked out. Should actually get his, let's get his beard and his dreads going. You know, Ezekiel's not a young man, so he's got them older dreads rocking. Put them into the zombie crowd and run. Use them as meat shields. What's up, Nelson? Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do this. All right. So yeah, I got about 6 of these, most of the way done, and we're gonna knock out the last 4, you know, probably tonight. We may spill over a little bit into tomorrow, but either way, these will be done by tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the time you're getting off work. What's up, Salt Elk? How's it going, man? I know you are hyped to get on this plane, dude. You are hyped to get down here, and we are hyped to see you, so it's gonna be good times. I actually took a little bit of time off work tomorrow, thinking that you might be in town a little earlier, but it worked out a little bit better for me because a bunch of dumbasses at my work scheduled meetings for me on a Friday. Can you imagine that? Meetings on a Friday? The hell is the matter with people? What do they not understand? I'm a busy man, guys. I'm a busy man. Oh, speaking of busy, I've got to render a video. I'm gonna render a video on my phone. You can't bring any. Oh yeah, don't even sweat it, man. Don't even sweat it. This is gonna be a sober event because we are at a comic book shop. So yeah, let me give you guys a little bit of what I'm working on here. So I was working on. This is actually an Arstea intro video, and it talks a little bit about different types of games. This is the funny jokes that I like to use here. It's the new edition of Grim Fighter Dark Shadow Kill Wars 70,000. I think you know what game I'm making fun of there. Here it is again. A box of Star Shooters for $150 for Maximus Pricimus. You're packing your bag, nice. Yeah. So, anyways, I talk a little trash on some other games, and then we get into the subject of that video, which is that is an Aristea video. So, let's go ahead and start that rendering while we go ahead and paint. Right now, yeah. It sounds not fun. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I mean. You know, I did originally wanted to run Fulmination from Gamecraft Brew. I actually looked into pricing and everything last year. After they announced Kingdom Con was done, I was like, okay, can we do it at Gamecraft Brew? And they wanted to charge me way too much money, like way too much money. So we decided not to do that, which I think was the right choice. All right, and let's get some. Okay, so this is interesting because he's got this kind of lime green vest on, and I think the best way to do this vest is I'm going to go with a little bit of orc flesh and dilute it. I could either do that or I could mix it with a little bit of yellow. I think the yellow might actually work. Let's try it. Let's go a little bit of orc flesh and a little bit of Iandan yellow. But yeah. And then I'll show you guys some of the other miniatures as part of this commission here. No worry about not. Yeah, I wanted to. We weren't even sure that Gamecraft was going to survive the pandemic. To be honest with you, right? We Nelson will tell you too. We were concerned about Gamecraft surviving. It turns out that they are still open, and I do want to get over there at some point and grab a beer and some wontons and play some games. But this weekend coming up, boys, this is the big one. We're gonna buckle down, play some Guild Ball. If you are on the fence about Saturday team tournament, please join. We are 3 spots away from having our actual formatted team tournament. Would love to have you. So please give it some thought, folks. We could really use a little support there. And again, this is going to be more newbie friendly. That said, it is a team format tournament, so you may get a wild pairing in there at some point because it is round robin. So we will get to play. Each team will get to play every other team. So just bear that in mind. But it's all in the name of fun, and we're gonna celebrate our West Coast Southern California Guild Ball tradition. We were the unsung meta for Guild Ball forever. So just something to be aware of. We got some people trying to call me right now. I'm in the middle of a stream, and we got a lot of stuff going on. Hold on. Yeah. That was a lot of things all at the same time. Hey, buddy. It's okay. You don't. You can. It's okay. You can talk. The Nevada boys, other than the boss, aren't registered, but definitely 3 people. Well, if those 3 people show up, then we're good to go, right? We have. Then we actually have our 12 that we need. That would be awesome. I'm still gonna encourage anybody on the fence though to jump in or at least consider it. So, anyways, let's get some more work on Ezekiel done here. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting and what you should be painting. Tonight we're working on Walking Dead, and I'm having a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun miniatures. When you see the Walking Dead miniatures, when I first saw them, I'll admit I was very unimpressed with them. I did not think that they were very good. They didn't look to be high quality, but in their simplicity, there's actually a lot of merit. I'll say there's a lot of merit to their simplicity. They have a lot of character, especially for one piece PVC miniatures. These pieces have a lot of character to them, and they're a lot of fun. So. My son is he's hanging out tonight, and he's gonna be doing some drawing while we're painting here. You okay, son? You need help, buddy?
Yeah, I'm looking for my pencil.
You're looking for a pencil? Let me know if you can't find it. I'll get you a pencil, okay?
And so far I've seen not very much. I see
My little kid is he's quite the internet warrior now because of this pandemic. He goes to school every day on his laptop, and Daddy built him a decent laptop. So, I didn't actually build it. I just took an old laptop and refurbished it, and it's actually pretty nice, pretty sweet little machine. So, Michael, these 3 people from Vegas, are they new to Longshanks? Am I gonna need to register them? What's up, buddy? Did you get it?
well, yeah, I found
You got it? Okay, good. All right.
Sorry, I'll be getting a little cough here and there.
It's okay.
It's just because I have a little cough.
Yeah, no worries, dude. Yeah. I got some questions about them. You know, that is great that, they're going to be coming all the way from Vegas, but, like I said, we still want to have as many people participating as possible. All right, and we're going to get this dude blocked out so that he looks quite cool. I think one night might need to. Okay, good. That's good. All right. All right, and Ezekiel has like he's got a couple of feathers in his hair too that we need to be aware of. Let's see if I can get another alternate. Yeah, he's got like blue feathers. He's got blue feathers out here. And then so once this dude is all blocked out, I'll start showing you guys the other pieces that are part of this commission. And I still have some last minute stuff I need to do to prepare for this weekend. Octavius, Daddy's gonna be very busy this weekend, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. But you can still call me if you need me, okay? All right. Let's see. Silicon gray. So let's get some shading on the sword and a little bit of shading on the hair slash dreadlocks slash beard. Let's do that. And so we're just gonna get a little bit of that on there, and you can see it's already doing a really nice job getting us detail of the dreadlocks without obscuring the color too bad, right? It doesn't look black, it looks gray. And that's kind of what we were going for. All right, cool. All right, let's let him dry for a minute. And let's show you some of the other folks as part of this commission, right? So just got some, I don't know who any of these characters are, but they're very fun. Like this guy here, I don't know what his deal is, but he's very fun. He's just a fisticuffs dude with a ponytail. You always got to watch out for guys like this. He's like, he kind of looks like Steven Seagal before Steven Seagal started buying all those weird jackets. This is Steven Seagal when he was still in normal jacket mode. We got this guy here. This guy kind of gives me like the pervy shop teacher vibe, right? He's got, look at the, oh, I can't. Let's see if I can get the face to focus here. Are you checking out the guys, Octavius? Yeah. What do you think of this guy? Tell me about this guy.
He kind of just looks
angry. Look at his face. He looks very angry, doesn't he? Is he funny?
I mean, it kind of looks funny, but at the same time, it just looks like...
Let me see if I can get...
What are you doing?
I'm not sure if I can get the focus.
It's like that moment as a child.
There we go. Look at that.
Where you're doing something naughty, and then your parent comes in the room, and you're like... And then your parent looks at you like that.
Yeah, look at that guy.
That's what his face looks like.
He's like, I'm here if you need me. That's a creepy looking dude. Look at that dude.
Yeah.
All right, we got some more people. We got this guy. Nervous shooter. Don't come any closer. Okay? There's no coming any closer. He's got a...
The dude's screaming.
Oh, he's got a decent gun. This looks like a Glock 48 maybe. Maybe the Glock 45. Yeah, he's got a decent gun. He's got good. I mean, he's in a Weaver stance. He's doing pretty good. He's clearly shot before. Look at this guy. Right, but here's his issue. He's right-handed and he's left eye dominant, just the way you could tell. The way he's aiming there, but he's definitely nervous. This guy, he's got problems. Hey, what's up, David? He's like, don't get any closer, zombies. Don't get any closer. I don't know why he speaks with something in his mouth, but that's that dude. And then we got, let's see. We got some more, this lady here, I'm pretty sure she's a lady. Oh, you know what? I actually gotta touch her up a little bit. See her? She's like, I took a judo class. I took a judo class. Stay away from me.
She's pretty much just gonna get
She's just gonna get killed. She's the cannon fodder. She's zombie fodder.
I don't know what that means.
You just push her into the zombies. Like, oh no! Ah! Look at her. You gotta love the sheer horror on the. I mean, at first glance, you're like, these are somewhat underwhelming sculpts because they're plain clothes, right? Everybody's used to seeing these big ornate, like buff space marine guys with like, 300 pounds of ceramite armor on and all these eagles and heraldry and stupid shoulder pads that they can't see around. But and they're like, when you see a model like this, it's like, what? It just looks like a person. But at least this looks like a human. Like you can be like, okay, I can identify with the look of terror on this lady's face. A space marine just kind of like a faceless, like mindless dude. Like I'm very buff. That's it. So there's that character. Who am I missing here? Oh, we got this. I really like this sculpt here.
Okay.
She's got this. She's very, especially unpainted. She looked just like a pirate, but she looks very cool here. She does actually need. Let's give her a little edge highlight on her sword.
She does a lot.
Her sword does need like an edge highlight, but she looks like a pirate, right? Like a swashbuckler.
She looks like
she's very cool. She's cutting through a zombie. Maybe she is.
When someone takes their sword and they just let's say there's a zombie right in front of her, and then she's her sword's over here this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes that way to the other side.
Yeah, it's a little bit because of the PVC. Let's get the facial expression of oh shit I have to. Yeah. That's what I like about these, like those little kids that I painted for you last time.
This guy's just
they have
a
good
puncher.
They have good expressions. Yeah, this one I really like. She's got
a bunch of puncher guys.
Bunch of fisticuffs guys.
Yeah, there's like 2 of these guys that just have fists.
Yeah.
There's this guy that has like a leather jacket and is like whoa.
Yeah.
And then there's this other guy's that like and
yeah, she's really cool. I like this one. Yeah, she's got really good detail too. She's really cool. See if I want to get a little more highlight on the blade there. And then finally,
we got fist dudes.
Yeah, we got to paint some more of the fist dudes, but we got Maggie here. And I didn't like. We were talking about the studio art, and I hated the studio art, as did Nelson. They had her in a really dumb shirt with really bad checkering on it, and then she had black hair. And I was like, I looked at pictures of Maggie. I don't watch Walking Dead, but I looked at pictures of Maggie, and I was like, yeah, she actually has brown hair, guys. So I gave her brown hair. And I looked at a lot of her other outfits, and she tends to wear a lot of like almost like drab military colors. So she wears like greens and tans, and she wears like she kind of has like a really sweaty rose colored shirt as well. And I think the last one I painted for you has that rose colored shirt. So I was like, okay, well, we don't have this specific outfit, which is like the green. The military green shirt. But I like this a lot better than the studio art as far as the color scheme and the hair and whatnot. So, yeah, so she looks great. That's what I was going for. More of a like, just rugged, outdoorsy, I guess country. You could call it a country style look. But yeah, that's and like, look at how this is a fairly plain looking sculpt, but she has good character to her. Just a lot of fun. So the other 3 characters, we don't have any example art on, so I'm totally open to suggestions. This guy here, he's got that awesome looking biker stuff on.
Makes his mouth look like a
yeah, and he's got a lot of like military like look to him.
He's like
so I don't know what color his hair is. If Nelson, if you want to give me some info on what his what this guy actually looks like, I'm gonna paint him to look. I mean, he's got this like wintry look to him. He's got a pretty heavy winter coat on. I'll give him. He can have the same kind of green shirt that Maggie has on, since he's kind of military. Or I could do like a brown maybe brown, and then his jacket can either be black or like a blue color. Let's give him first. Let's give him a brown shirt, and then we can talk about what color is his hair and beard. Is he a ginger guy? I mean, he's got amazing character on his face. He looks like that biker meme where the dad, you know what I'm talking about? The custom biker meme where the dad and the son are yelling at each other and eventually they throw the chair. That's what this guy reminds me of.
And he literally is yelling. If you look at his mouth.
Alright.
There are two fish people. I don't know why. Why are those people there? They're literally just gonna be like killed in like 2 seconds.
Alright. Yeah. So we'll give him. He'll have kind of like a brown. We'll give him a brown shirt like that. You just messaged me. Oh, okay. Let's look at the art. As soon as I dropped colors on this dude. Oh, he's a redhead. Yeah, I actually was on the right track with the brown shirt and the. Okay, so he really is like military gear. Okay, so we just continue. Awesome. So we just continue this pattern down, and
what's his name?
His name is Abraham, and he's an army sergeant.
So he technically is military.
Yeah, he's military. Abraham's pretty. He's really cool looking. I don't know. I like these kinds of sculpts where it's like you can clearly identify it's a person and that they're, and that they're expressive. Their faces are expressive. And he was Army. Yeah, Abraham's pretty awesome. And he's an angry ginger. We gotta like that. You gotta appreciate the angry gingers. Alright? Shout out to Dicey Guy and other angry ginger guys. Dicey Guy actually is the least angry ginger guy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I am just amped for this weekend. It's gonna be pretty exhausting. I'm looking at my Monday work schedule, going maybe I don't show up Monday if I'm too tired. After all this, we'll see. Dude, he's just look at this dude. He's great. Okay, he's got a cool little bat there. All right. But yeah, even if you aren't, Nelson, I don't think it would be cool if you played, but even if you don't, I'm hoping you stop by and just check it out, right? Just check it out. Like get a vibe for the Guild Ball crew, because it's a great community. It's been one of the great joys of my my game promoting career, for lack of a better term, to host Guild Ball events for my friends, for the community, and it's a good group of people. Always very welcoming. Always really just in. There's a weird, not weird, but there's a there's a different energy. I'll say. I'll just put it to you that way. There's a different energy between the Guild Ball community and most of the other gaming communities that I've been a part of or have been, we'll say, exposed to. Put it that way, you know. And I've been a part of some really fun communities. Don't get me wrong, right? The SoCal Malifaux, that community is definitely like top of the list. Our Malifaux community was, geez, I mean, basically kind of storied at this point. You know, we've had other communities around other games like Relic Knights and Heldorado, our old Heldorado group, and so we've had lots of other communities. But Guild Ball was different in the sense that you know, it was a competitive community. Most of the other communities that I hosted, while I've always hosted very active communities, and I've always been very fortunate to kind of, you know, be around people that have that sort of energy about them, where they're gonna stay active and they're very much about, like, you know, promoting promoting our community and promoting more activity and events and participation and whatnot. You know, I've been very, very fortunate to be surrounded by people who are like that and who help. I mean, they're the ones that really ultimately do the heavy lifting, right? And my role as the official host is really, it's almost more of a nominal role. You know, it helps to be somebody who is, you know, easy to rally around. And so there's that. But I mean, other than that, a lot of these guys, they do, you know, like Michael, a lot of them do a lot of the heavy lifting of you know, pushing your event further out than your normal reach. And continuing to just kind of promote it from the player to player level, because it's more powerful, it's more compelling. The player to player level promotion is I've always felt that it's more compelling because it speaks, I guess it's more of a statement. If you have the regular players of the community going out and saying, "Hey, come join us here," you know, here's your official volunteer or host or whatever, and you know, he's going to be the guy to kind of set the table for us. But it's really all about what we do, you know, when we're out and we take part in these events. So let's see, stop by after work Saturday mornings, my rotation. Yeah, for sure, man. Don't sweat it. It just yeah, come check us out. Hope that just hope that you can see everybody, get a feel for, you know, what this group is about. And I'm just always very proud of our group here. I know Andrew's working this weekend too, so that's kind of, I think he's working and he's got like his sister's birthday or something like that. So I do not think he'll be defending his title, which is a little disappointing, but you know, understandable. Where's that Sigor Brown? What did I do with it? What I do with it? I don't want to use that. It's the wrong color. But yeah, it's a shame that, you know, I felt like we were just about to really start to. We were on the upward incline. I felt, you know, whoa, it's okay, buddy. You can watch. You have headphones right here, right there. They're underneath, over here. Come here, underneath your drawing. Here, let me see you. No problem. Um, yeah, I really felt like we were on the upswing, really, as far as this meta is concerned. That we were still on a trajectory to grow, to continue to host events, get a little bit bigger in Kingdom Con. But Kingdom Con ended, and so that was the first blow to our group, was losing our home convention, and then obviously 2020 happened. Um, but it's still, I'm just very grateful that, hey, we at least get to give away a cup this year. And that's the one thing that made me very sad when we were all locked down. As I had this cup here in the room here, and and I wasn't sure if we were gonna be able to give it away this year. So I'm just very grateful for that, and grateful that, excited to see my peeps again, and we're able to give away a 2020 cup before the end of the year. All right, let's give him some splooches. Actually, we're gonna get our focus back down this way, because it's just not comfortable for me to paint all the way up here. So we'll do that. So we're just gonna give him little camo splooches. So you can see, very precise freehand. There we go. There, military. All right, buddy. So let's have a look at who else we got here. Let's paint this guy, Angers Mc 1 foot guy. He's cool looking. Mm. Well, we don't have a Nelson. You gotta send me Angers Mc 1 foot and Pitchfork McLadies. Hey, oh hi, Mark. What's up, man? Oh hi. I'll also hop in the Discord, because why not? Why not? Let's do this. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so that's going on there. So I am in the Discord if you want to be part of the conversation. Let's see if Jose will. I'm gonna tell him to play Guild Ball on Saturday. All right. So waiting for. Okay. So this is Dale. Thanks, Nelson. Oh, he's wearing a lot of pale stuff, and he's got an angry man's beard and a little wooden leg. We can do this. We can work with that. Let's get some Dale going here. All right. Not really, Dale's outfit's it's a little on the boring side, but it's okay. At least he looks cool. That's all that really matters. I couldn't even tell that he had a beard based on this sculpt. But he does. He's got himself a little beard here. Kind of like so.
Aha, finally.
Finally. A hammer.
Finally starting to work.
Yes.
After
Yeah.
I've been having to reboot my Discord to connect to like anything. So I wonder if I need to do a clean install.
Too much prawns.
Too much spaghetti code. Too much spaghetti.
Yes. So he's pretty cool. So what's going on? Are you doing any painting?
I am painting 1.5 Baby Cade and Petulant Youth Candy.
Yes, Petulant Youth.
I figured I'd paint her up like emo style, or maybe like Scene Kid style.
That's pretty funny. What color's her hair gonna be?
I don't know. I found this really light blue that I like.
Okay.
It's kind of like icy blue color.
That's cool. Hey, good morning, Shadowcat. Welcome to the feed.
Why is this so watery?
All right. So let's work on. So Dale's getting some color in here. Let's work on. He looks like the skipper from Gilligan's Isle, but like actually, he looks like the skipper and Gilligan had a child, or the skipper killed Gilligan, lost his foot in the fight, and then wore his outfit. Right?
I don't know.
The shirt's a little tight, is what I'm saying.
I don't know which story I like better. The weird man baby, or the violent Skipper and Gilligan end up in a
Violent is better.
I want to say Decapodian, but that's Futurama. The Star Trek people with the weird foreheads.
Klingons?
Klingon. There we go. Ends up in a Klingon death arena.
Yeah, he's got that. He's got the you know, what did he, it's like a Kangol hat, but not quite a Kangol hat. Like Gilligan used to wear. I was gonna, if you didn't send me art for this guy, that was the plan. I was just gonna paint him to look like Gilligan. All right, and he's got this guy's got a lot of pale colors to him.
This white guy number 63.
But he's still more character than your average Spesmarin. Which I know that's
true.
not saying much, but still. The Spesmarins. Man. We're gonna, so once Guild Ball is done this weekend, in October, I'm planning on throwing some Aristea event. Because we got to get that. Could you imagine me on Facebook, your Discord link, please? Okay. Let me do that. Let me do that. The Discord link. How doth one? Alright. Wait, what? No. There we go. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if this will work, but let's try this. Do. Let me see if I can do this. There we go. Alright, there you go. That should work.
If it doesn't, we're fucked.
It doesn't? Oh well. I will apologize and we'll try again at some other point. But that should totally work. Okay. He does have kind of like a bright. We'll dull him down a little bit. His outfit looks a little Banana Republic right now.
I can get into that.
He's really like, look at, like, those are pretty bright khakis he's got.
The banana rama.
Yeah, he's got the Rama banana. There when we used to listen to Banana Rama, right? One of my cousins, she was a little older than we were, and she used to listen to Banana Rama all the time. It was like her favorite band. And then we used to turn on, sometimes there'd be like Filipino TV on cable, and there would be these like Filipino ladies come out and they would sing Bananarama songs. And that's all they did. They would come out and sing these Bananarama songs with thick Filipino accents. And so we used to call them Rama Banana.
That sounds amazing.
We're like, oh my god, guys, Rama Banana is back on TV. we were very happy to see Rama Banana.
You back.
You have the greatest hits of them. I like Bananarama. They were cool. Like, I like most of those the 80s girl bands. You know, everyone likes the Go-Go's. They were all right. The Bangles were great. I liked the Bangles.
This is true.
I don't know. I always. This is a little bit earlier than that, but Heart was just amazing. They're just like, I love Heart. Like, I love that band. They are so dope. Like, I lost my shit one time when they showed up at some like they showed up at like Taste of OC. It was like a street fair. And I was with my wife. This was before we had kids or anything. We used to just, we had free time and did stuff like that. And Hart gets up on stage and I'm like, oh my god, Hart, and like lost my shit. And she's like, I didn't know you listened to, classic rock. And I was like, yeah, you don't know me, man. Love classic rock. But, and that's my story. This guy's got a 22 revolver. Man, he is old school. That's his weapon. With his Rama banana pants. That would be extremely hard to kill a zombie with a 22 revolver. That's virtually a useless weapon against a zombie.
Well, it just looks cool.
It's almost like trying to kill one with a staple gun. Like it's just like one step from that.
Nail guns are popular weapons in zombie affairs, and I don't know why.
I don't know why. I mean, you'd have to be extremely accurate.
And I mean, even then, realistically, you're more likely to just mildly annoy the zombie than actually kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, so Shadowcat's talking about Barracuda, which is a great song. Honestly, I love Nancy's song. I love These Dreams. It's a great song.
When I used to play, I think it was Guitar Hero 2. When I played it for like a week, I used to almost like exclusively play Barracuda.
Yes.
I think that song was in Birds of Prey, actually.
Oh, probably. I mean, it's a classic. It's a fem rock anthem, basically.
They use it I mean,
It's in a lot. I mean, Barracuda's in so many movies.
yeah, but they use it well. Unlike Captain Marvel, that's going to put "I'm Just a Girl" to their big space battle because
Mm, wow. Well,
because
it's
girl power.
a little on the nose there, guys. It's a little try hard when we're doing shit like
I
that.
mean, I like "I'm Just a Girl."
Oh, I love
Like,
that song. Yeah.
I love that band, but
Mhm.
it's I don't know. You might need to take a step back there, buddy.
Okay, so Nelson is saying in the game it rolls a single shitty die for that 22. Yeah, he's better off like just using his angry fists and his peg leg, man.
Whoever take your, I wonder if he takes his peg leg off and just beats the shit out of people with it.
Yeah, peg leg is pretty sweet.
Oh, I need to save this. Not that.
He's yeah, this dude's pretty awesome though.
Is this the
Well,
I forgot YouTube decides it's going to autoplay all the tabs after I open Chrome.
it, if you can find I am Murloc, so funny. What? What?
The Morlocks from World of Warcraft?
What? I don't know. I did not understand the comment.
The Well, the Morlocks are basically Gups from Malifaux. Like, I'll send you a picture of a Morlock from Warcraft, and it is like
Hey, what's up, Sean?
it is 1 for 1.
So Sean is ready for Saturday. Dope. So we are almost at that magic number. Well, according to Michael, if the Vegas people show, then we are at the magic number. And we can play our team tournament. Finally, we can play our team tournament. It's all I wanted to do with Guild Ball before they killed it is play in a stupid team tournament. That's it. Good news is our state will have a team format. Yay! So we could play our stay at two on two, which sounds super fun actually, because you just control two aristos. So two players to a team, and each player controls half the team, which is two aristos. And you're like, man, what kind of dope 2-man combos can you run? And I'm like, Dart Prism for me, or Dart Tawu, or Dart and anyone else because I love Dart. That's all you need to know. Dart is the waifu. The Vegas people, yeah, Sean. Michael invited some folks from Vegas to come down, and apparently there's 4 of them in total coming down, which means that we hit the magic minimum number we need to play a team tournament. Oh, I think I just figured out how we're going to do this. I just figured out how we're going to draft the teams. Okay. I'm not going to tell anybody on feed because you guys will hate this idea. Actually, Mark will love it. But I don't know if you're going to be able to make it. But
Probably not.
yeah. But yeah, the plan I have for how to decide teams is I just thought of it right now, and it's going to be awesome.
You know Fergie covered Barracuda? I didn't until just now.
Why?
Why not?
Why? But you don't cover. That's like a legendary song. You don't just throw people at that song like it's a big deal if you're gonna cover that song. You can't be just like waking up one morning, oh, I'm gonna cover this classic rock song. No. You gotta plan that shit out. You gotta talk to people. You have to get approvals. Mostly
That's a
from me.
Fergie covered Barracuda. Why? Oh. It's like if they had BTS cover Spice Girls.
Actually,
You know,
come on, I'm kind of a fan of that automatically.
yeah. Now that I say it out loud, might not be that bad of an
That's
idea.
kind of amazing, let's face it. Dear God, let that happen. I will I will go I will go to that concert. I will go to BTS. We'll see Yvonne in the crowd. She'll lose her shit. She's like the biggest BTS fan. Oh man. All right, let's look at Lacey Green. Are you serious? Is that her name? The YouTuber? That's who this character is.
Wait until you get to the quartering mini.
Is you made me cough. Oh man. Are you serious? That's amazing. Oh man. This is Lacey. Oh my God. Look at it. Is kind of Lacey Green. That's funny. All right. And she kind of has like dirty, like light brown hair, I guess. So let's do. All right.
Blondie? I have all the time in the world to listen to Blondie.
Blondie's just fantastic band, just amazing top to bottom. Always cool. You killed me. Yes, Shadowcat BTS. Go ahead and Google BTS. And watch at least one of their videos. I think Mark accidentally stumbled upon Pure Gold.
That happens to me a lot.
That is very important.
Because I don't really think about what I say.
Actually,
I just say whatever pops into my
we
mind.
I do need to tell Yvonne about this idea. Because I think she'll lose her shit. You tell her.
I need to cover. God, they need to cover Wannabe.
Yes, for sure they got to cover Wannabe. But like, God, like the
I need a
whole catalog.
album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the slow jam, especially the slow jams.
Literally just put all of the Spice Girls songs on like a dartboard. Throw a dart, can't go wrong.
Like they need to just cut the whole album. BTS Spice World. We'll watch. That's amazing. This is the best idea that I think that this channel ever had.
Oh God.
God, there's a lot of taupe in these outfits. All right, Lacey Green. I thought she would be fancier dressed, but I guess not. She shoots a lot of her videos in her car anyway. Who cares? Stupid Lacey Green.
Oh God.
That is super funny.
Her videos in her car anyway. It's already prepared for the zombie apocalypse. Oh God.
There's like simultaneously two ridiculous jokes happening at the same time. Although it's BTS singing Spice Girl songs is not a joke, and it really needs to happen. I think most people, even not fans of BTS, would be really down for that.
I'm not a fan of BTS, but I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I don't want them to sing like boy band songs. Like, let them sing Spice Girls. If you're gonna do it, do it.
Right.
Yeah. That's just That's just the most amazing. At least they'll get the points. Man, you imagine those guys singing that slow jam, two become one on that one. Oh man, who? And then then you got to figure out which BTS dude is which Spice. I don't know.
Well,
I
you're gonna
don't
have
know
multiple
any of
sporty spices. I can tell you that.
multiple sporty Spice. That's awesome.
Also, probably like several baby spices too. Honestly,
I thought most of them will be baby, and there's like two posh spices, but they make everyone in BTS sing. So Posh Spice, her job was to just kind of slink around, and they just kept the microphone away from her at all costs. That was the point. Like you marry the soccer player. No one ever gets to hear you.
her whole role in the group was to cut eyes at people.
Yeah.
That's about it. Which I mean, that's like
It's a
the
great
dream
job.
gig right there.
It really is.
They're just paid to be a bitch. Like, where do I sign up?
you have to have S class resting bitch face. Like you gotta have the skills. They won't just let anyone have that job.
I can cut eyes. I can be a bitch. It's in my. As somebody who does drag, it's in my genetics. Genetic. I can't help it. I'm just genetically predisposed to being a bitch.
Lacey Green. Her name is still Lacey Green, and it's still funny. I'm giving Lacey Green supposed to have a blue coat on. I'm gonna give her a denim coat. It's even funnier.
Give her flannel.
Hey guys, me, Lacey Green. Her name is Lacey Green. You can't make that shit up. But somebody literally did. Ah, that's funny. Alright. Yeah, Lacey Green's gonna have the same denim outfit as the Karen. This one here. She has to see the manager. That's what she's asking right there. I need to see the manager.
My coupon from 10 years ago is not being accepted.
Oh, man. Look at her go. She's ready to use her pitchfork. Now, pitchfork, great weapon for fighting zombies. Great weapon. Pitchforks, I think, would imagine would be very popular because maybe you don't kill the zombies with them, but it's one of the best weapons to keep distance, right?
I've considered carrying a pitchfork just to enforce
Pitchfork,
social distancing.
yes, pitchforks and shotguns, right? These are all good.
The solution to
zombie
most of life's
weapons.
problem is pitchfork.
Mm-hmm. You got to think about do you have enough stuff in your house to make it to the first ink ribbon when the zombies attack? And I think I'll be honest, you'll stay with baby metal. Baby metal pretty dope still. I know that was just kind of a fad and a meme for a while, and everybody was posting baby metal shit. They're still pretty cool.
Yeah, they did. They did a couple songs with Judas Priest at some festival.
That's funny and awesome.
Yeah, they covered. They did "Breaking the Law."
That's awesome. Yes. You go, Lacey Green.
They even toured with Ozzy at one point.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Like, all the classic metal bands are like, you know what? These little Japanese girls, let's do that.
I remember Ozzy was defending him on Twitter because a bunch of old metalheads were being jackasses,
A bunch of
to put
old.
it mildly, about him.
They were mad about baby metal. Baby metal threatened their existence as
Yeah,
fans.
they're like, they're making fun of metal and this and that. And
What?
Ozzy came to Twitter and said, these little, like, these chicks rock harder than most of the bands that I've toured with.
That's pretty accurate, actually. They have a live
Yeah, you watch them
album.
live,
I mean,
people go crazy for them when
have
they get
you?
up there and start doing karate.
Yes. Okay, that was this. She has suddenly become my favorite, Lacey Green. It's too good. Soon to join baby metal. All right. Pretty cool. Let's do this. Kitty! How old's your cat, Mark?
About two.
Oh, that's a good
About
age.
two now.
So eating, like biting and destroying everything still.
Not as much.
Yeah.
He's gonna chill. He kind of likes to sit in the windows. Like, keep one of the windows in the room that face the front of the house cracked open a bit. The blinds pulled open a bit so he can sit in it and look outside. He likes to look at the birds and the rabbits in the front yard.
My cat at 2 was doing flips, and he would jump from the floor, jump up and land on my shoulder and sit on my shoulder like a parrot. The cool cat. Now he's just fat and lazy.
Yeah, sometimes he'll play fetch with himself with this little, like, Darth Vader bobble toy. He got him when he was a kitten. He'll, like, bat it around and chase it and pick it up and throw it.
Yeah, that's a good age for cats. I mean, my cat still he's really loyal to my son too. So he'll, like, when my son goes and plays outside, he'll go outside with my kid and stay nearby, and he won't go in until my son goes in, which is really cool. All right, I'm gonna give some. This guy's gotta be a little bit darker. His little Bananarama outfit is probably a little sad.
I've thought about letting him go outside, but I have to get him, like, I'd have to get him a harness, and then I'd have to get him a couple kinds of inoculations, because there's
Yeah,
lots of shit out here.
yeah, makes sense. My Bubbles has brought in grasshoppers, butterflies, and small grass snakes. Oh yeah, little gifts. Yeah, we used to get one of our other cats, Emmy, used to bring birds in. She would actually catch them. They would fly onto the patio, and then she'd just grab them out of the air. The ones that were stupid enough to fly too close to our patio, and
Darwinism.
just leave the bird corpse like on you while you're sleeping. So when you woke up, you just saw you just see a bird corpse. Bag is packed. Yes. Man.
You do that when they don't think you're eating right.
Yeah. It's a gesture. It's a lovely gesture.
You're not eating it up, so I got you this dead
I
bird.
got you this dead bird. Stupid vegan.
Oh.
There's a cat. Cat lecturing you. Stupid vegan. Have a bird.
Grow a pair.
Grow a pair. Carnivorous cats. All right. So Dale here is gonna get he's gonna have a little more dirt to his outfit. Now you can join for the rest of the stream. Nice.
Dale. Dale.
He does look like a Dale.
That's true.
He doesn't look like an Earl or a Walt. He looks like a Dale specifically.
Or even a Bob.
What model that you painted has the best hat? Well, Dale's hat is pretty on point. Let's all agree on that. He does have the cool Kangol hat. You could paint. We could have painted it red, so he could have been wearing like LL Cool J's outfit. And then we could have just done a red tracksuit on him. That would have been pretty awesome, actually.
I think that has to go in the idea vault, like the pink droid army.
Yep. Pink army is kind of a cool thought. Like, I think you could actually make a pink army look amazing.
Oh, I have been toying with the idea of because they have that 2-player kit that's like the clones and the droids, so you could have the pink droids and like goth clones.
Mm-hmm. Goth clones would be pretty hilarious too. What are those? What's that? You know that meme with all those like they're like goth club kids where they're all doing that dance under that overpass. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the
What is that called? What
the
is their
cyber goths.
cyber goths? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
That would be a cool theme. All right, let's.
It's an old meme. Damn.
I know I had to reach, but it's still a good one as far as I'm concerned.
No, yeah, completely.
You got a package of Ashoka and Darth Talon. What? I do not.
Darth Talon, the character that Disney is not going to touch with a 10-foot pole.
I do not know the Star Wars enough to be excited. I'm not sure what the
Darth
appropriate
Talon
reaction.
She's basically sexy alien Sith Lord
Okay.
character, and Ahsoka is she's from the animated Clone Wars.
I've heard of Ashoka.
She's yeah, but I don't think Disney's ever going to make Darth Talon canon again.
She's one of those tube head ladies or whatever, right? Ashoka has those like tube, not Bib Fortuna tubes, but the tubes that go down the back. They have like
she
stripes on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see, I am well versed in the Star Wars.
And Darth Talon is a Twi'lek, which is one of the ladies with the tentacle hair.
Mm. Oh,
like,
so she is a Bib Fortuna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that one Jedi that gets owned on the Forest Planet in episode 3.
Okay.
I was thinking.
Traguta. You were thinking.
I was thinking. Right?
Oh, don't do that.
The Skywalker saga is technically Palpatine dabbing on 4 generations of Skywalker. Because you have to include
Oh,
Anakin's mother.
oh, you're right. It is 4 generations. I always said 3 generations.
Yeah, because it's at least implied in one of the comics that Palpatine was kind of behind Anakin's mother getting murdered horribly.
Yeah, that's true.
Then
Damn.
he did everything to Anakin, and then there's Ben, and
Who he
there's
fucked
Luke
with
and Ben.
while he was in the womb. Didn't even give that boy a chance to birth. Started fucking with him while he was in the womb. That is the most gangster shit I've ever heard.
It is extra depressing because if they wanted to have Palpatine back, they could have had Palpatine back in a way that actually made sense.
But this way
Because in the
is
expanded universe,
uh
his master had this ring that was like a Sith artifact that let him go back and relive his memories. And there's an original copy, there's a version of the script. And you can tell this because in Rise of Skywalker, they go to the Death Star fragment that has his throne. But he kept that ring near him in case he needed to imprint his soul into it so that he could possess whoever was dumb enough to put it on. And the idea was that Snoke was just some random salvage guy who put the ring on and became possessed by Palpatine. And his whole plan was to train Ben and then have Ben put the ring on and then possess Ben
damn.
or Rey, whoever ended up winning that battle.
Yeah.
And instead we got whatever the hell was happening. And I can say that because it's been confirmed by Daisy Ridley that not even the writers knew what the hell they were doing with Rey until the last
No.
movie.
No. You mean those writers were completely incompetent? Didn't understand character development nor the ability to put together a cohesive plot? What? You don't say. You don't
People,
say.
and yet Star Wars fans will still defend the movie where the entirety of Rey's existence is, I need to go to the Death Star. Oh, there's a ship that takes me to the shard of the Death Star. I need to find this thing. Oh, look, I found a thing. Oh no, Kylo Ren is here. He destroyed the Sith artifact to find Exegol. Well, I'm going to stab him, heal him, take his ship, burn his ship. Miraculously, the Sith artifact he used to get to Exegol survives. But I don't have a ship. Oh, the Ghost of Luke is going to give me his old X-Wing. Okay, cool. Now I can go to Exegol.
It's
It's
really, it's really. I'm noticing a trend in the more modern heroes, where it's not where take the latest Mulan, the live action Mulan. Apparently, Mulan was a story of she disguises herself as a male to serve in the army instead of her dad or whatever, but she struggles at first and she has to go through all this training and she has to use her wits and all this stuff to get ahead, right? That was the animated Mulan. Apparently in this new Mulan, she's just born with powers. She's just a Super Saiyan. Like right out of the gate, total Mary Sue, doesn't struggle against any of the bad guys, just kicks their asses and is just good at everything. And you're like, what? What is that? How is that the modern hero? That that you don't actually work. It's not about what you do. You're just born awesome. Like what the hell does that mean? Like, oh, I want to be just like this. Like, I look up to this hero. Why? Because they hit the fucking genetic lottery. Why should you celebrate any of these characters if they're just automatically good? It's weird too because that's one of the main points of Mulan was that she had to work harder than the people around her. She had to use skills that other people didn't use and develop skills that she didn't have to that other people didn't have to have. But instead, it's like, no, you're just fucking great. Yay! We just celebrate you. Yay! Like it's very. What the hell is that? Like nothing is earned anymore. There's just the character, like what they don't even make characters earn friendships anymore. There's not even they're your best friends. What do you mean? Oh yay! And they don't even bother developing any of that stuff. I don't get it. Don't get it.
Yeah. Like Ray and Poe have maybe like one interaction before the final movie, and then in the final movie they're all like, "Yeah, we're best friends." Like,
Yeah,
are you?
are you?
Are you?
We ain't seen. Yeah, like what? Anyway,
Because your first interaction was literally Poe yelling at you because you dropped a tree on his droid. Because you're hilariously inept, and
I just don't
if you
understand.
weren't very Sue, Ray probably would have struggled to turn on her lightsaber to begin with.
Like, but why doesn't anything ever go through an arc anymore? Like characters don't go through. They're just here. You just they basically just spoon feed you what you're supposed to believe about the character, and then that's the character. They don't go through any sort of journey. They don't go through any sort of I don't know. I just don't understand. Why is that? Like, how? Who thinks that's a good idea? Who is like, oh, this is here we go. We'll make Mulan better by not including any of the actual like the point of her struggle and some of the best parts about her as a hero, right? That'd be like, let's do Die Hard, but let's give John McClane just he just gets a machine gun and a bazooka. He just starts with that and just walks around the building shooting at everybody, and he never misses. And yay, you saved everyone, John McClane. Like, you can't. I don't understand. Why don't they do? Why don't characters character anymore? And yes, I did use
Too
that
hard.
correctly.
Just too hard.
Is it too hard to write? Is it too hard to act through? Like, what? You got time in the movie.
Or people are. It's too hard to write. People are fucking morons.
Are people? Is it? You know what?
Like,
I think it's. I think it's focus groups. I think it's the fault of marketers and focus groups because they show people movies and it's like, oh, what did you think about the Karate Kid? And they're like, oh, Daniel San was really cool, and I like Pat Moriarty. That was super cool. But it kind of made me feel bad for Daniel when he had to like wax on and wax off. I don't need to see that shit. And these focus groups are stupid, and they don't realize that was a good part of the movie. And the people are like, oh, okay, write that out. We don't want. Well, this needs to be edifying. Let's skip that entirely. And Daniel's great at everything. Like that's what they would do. If you had focus
well,
groups,
famously, a focus group is what ruined the Suicide Squad movie.
oh,
The
I believe
Suicide
that.
Squad was going to be a completely different movie than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why the joke, even Margot Robbie and I think whatever that pompous jerkbag's name is that played Joker, they didn't even understand what was supposed to be the relationship between those two because they depict originally when Joker pushes Harley out of the helicopter
Mm-hmm.
after saving her, it's because she says she wants to go back and get the rest of the squad members. And because Joker doesn't view Harley as a person, as just another one of his toys, he doesn't like when his toys speak back to him, so he just shoves her out of the helicopter in the hopes that she'll just fall to her death.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, people decided, well, we didn't really like the relationship between Joker and Harley because it's too dark. So instead, we get this movie that ends up glorifying and romanticizing a relationship that is really not supposed to be romanticized in any way.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. There's a lot of discussions about Mary Sue's Rogue One. Rogue One was all right.
Yeah,
It was all right. They had.
I mean, in the Star Wars movies, I put it above the sequels, but it's just kind of a predictable story.
Well, yeah. I mean, you go into
It's
Rogue One.
more. It's more for fan service than it is to like tell a story,
Okay.
which is fine. It's a fine movie. It's perfectly watchable. It's just like I'm not psychotically into that side of the Star Wars story. Like, I know people who really wanted to know the story of Rogue One and why, like, and what happened there. I never really cared that much
Okay.
because it never felt like the story of Rogue One really mattered.
Yeah, didn't you don't think it needed
It's like
to be told?
it didn't really need expanding upon, but we got Rogue One and it's okay.
It's okay.
It's
What I
watchable.
liked about it is it was, it's a bleaker Star Wars universe, like he's pointing out, and I also like that it stormtroopers and that actually they actually felt like a military presence, and you never, outside of the original trilogy, to me the stormtroopers never feel like a military presence. Like they never feel like at no point during the last um, 3 chapters are you ever worried about stormtroopers. They're just like, yeah, that's what are they called? The First Order, yeah, whatever. They're just a bunch of sad, like, you know, they're just a bunch of sad kids basically, and they're angry. That's what Hux does, and there's no threat. You don't ever feel like they actually feel like um, they're in control of anything. At no point does it feel like that. Whereas in Rogue One, when they're starting to patrol around and kill people, you're like, yeah, okay, finally, right? That they got to earn that name, Stormtrooper, right? That's like direct. That's a direct fascist um, you know, um, reference. They should actually be menacing, but you just never. It just never feels that way. It's because we've tried to gentrify the whole thing. It's like 40K again. Where it's like, yeah, 40K is like a direct reference to fascism. Okay? And I know you guys are all bent out of shape and worried about that shit. So now you can't even like properly address that because you're true you're just you're more worried about trying to make this so that little kids can enjoy it. But that's, I don't know. When I was a kid and we were into sci-fi and all that kind of stuff, we were specifically into stories that were written for adults that were mature in subject. And I get that the marketing people need to be able to, they don't want the angry letter from the parents going, I took my kid to a movie about war and he saw war.
Well,
That's what you're gonna get. I took my child to this movie about fighting zombie cannibals, and there was actual violence in it. What the hell?
Well, they novelized the third Revenge of the Sith, and in the novelized version of Revenge of the Sith, they established Count Dooku as being a space racist.
That's kind of cool. I mean, he should be.
But it never comes up in the movies,
Because he's
like
Dooku.
ever, or in the animated series. Like he makes direct reference to not liking Grievous because he's a droid, because he's a quote filthy droid, and he points out that his master plan with Anakin. He asks Sidious, like, do you think Anakin can be trusted even though he's part droid, basically, and he's just like this big space racist.
See, that makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah, but you never see that in the movie.
No,
Like,
you
why?
can't do that. But like, it's the problem that we're seeing is that we want to have we swear that these movies are about epic confrontations between good and evil, but we can never actually depict evil anymore because I've always been preachy about this. Is evil is not something that's just mean and labeled as evil on its forehead. It's something sexy, exciting. You want to fuck evil, right? That's what I tell people. You want to hang out with evil. You want to buy evil a drink, and you want to do things with evil. That's what makes it evil, guys. Not oh my god, it's evil. It
Oh,
has red lasers. Let's shoot at it. It's not that. That's not what evil is. This is part of what makes evil is that you are like, oh, I kind of like it. It's like I kind of see its point, right? That's the
well, I think they
whole point.
tried. They tried to do that with Kylo Ren, but again, like
A little
you
bit, I
can't
guess.
start
Yeah.
a movie like you can't start a trilogy and not know where you're gonna go with it.
Yes.
That's why you
That's
start with
the.
the Force Awakens, which is at best a relatively inoffensive sci-fi action movie.
Hmm.
It did Last Jedi, which is the worst piece of cinema that I have ever experienced in my entire life, into The Rise of Skywalker, which is a movie that has to wrap up like 20 different plot threads because The Last Jedi just can't make up its goddamn mind as to what it's doing.
So Sean is saying, and I agree. Sean says Suicide Squad should have been rated R, but they wanted that child money. So here's the thing. And I know but the good news is they're not Marvel, right? DC could have got away with that. If they did that as a rated R movie, then parents took their kids to that movie. I took my kid to a rated R movie about villains, and I saw a rated R movie about villains, right? And they get upset. You know what that's gonna do? Is that's gonna make more people want to watch that movie. It's
Well, Birds of Prey.
it's like really that's like in my opinion that's like super good marketing. They should have just owned it. Deadpool rated R movie. Deadpool rated R superhero movie. One of the most successful superhero movies of all time. And it was, and yes, people were like, I took my kid to Deadpool. Oh my god, that character Deadpool acts like Deadpool. Yeah, no shit.
Deadpool gets pegged.
Yeah, like no shit. What were you walked and what happened in return? Movie one of the most successful superhero movies of all time. Like you just have to own it. If you're gonna do that, do it. You can't. I think you're almost losing money by trying to appease everybody. You make the movie unapologetically, and when stupid parents bring their kids to that movie, guess whose fault that is, right? The movie received the proper rating, right? My parents took me. By the way, my parents took me to every rated R movie ever out when I was a kid. They took us to all that shit. We watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I was in second grade. Like they did not. They were very like, hey, this is how life works, son. they were. They did not pull any punches. All right. My dad was like, I'm fucking Santa Claus. Here's the movie. Like that kind of stuff. like you that that was just raw what they did, and there's I judge it how you will, but I felt like there was a lot of there was a lot of validity in their raw honesty about that kind of shit. Anyway, but yeah, why don't we make more movies like Dark Phoenix as a rated R movie? Think about how cool that movie would have been. Not
Well, Birds of Prey sets out to be a rated R action movie about a group of female heroes, or not necessarily heroes, but about female
they're like anti-heroes.
anti-villains.
Yeah.
Or anti-heroes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it does it, and it's really fucking good. Like, I loved Birds of Prey. Like, there's a whole segment where Harley is fighting off these because Cassandra Cain is up swallowing a diamond that Black Mask wants. So she's fighting off these hitmen so she can deliver Cassandra to Black Mask and get his protection. It's a whole moment where she's fighting him in this evidence lockup. And she ends up snorting, or like ends up breathing in a bunch of cocaine as they're shooting at a mountain of cocaine. And like they show this moment where she's like, yeah, cocaine. She sets a guy's face on fire. That's what Suicide Squad should have been. But it wasn't because they showed because they showed the focus group and they're like, it's too dark, it's too, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Harley is abused by Joker, and it's like, what's the fucking point? Like, the ramifications of not depicting the Harley Joker relationship are like the fact that you wouldn't do it in light of what you end up showing on screen is laughable.
But I make the argument that it's almost worse not to show that kind of reality, right? I make the argument like that there needs to be. That's part of why so many things that everyone celebrates in terms of entertainment or whatever. That's because the stuff that we celebrate was just raw and it was just out there. There wasn't this like push to make everything, you know, clean and edifying for all audiences, regardless of the nature um, of the source material. Right? If you're going to do something messed up, if you're going to cover something messed up, show the messed up. Right? And we don't do that anymore. We just
Well, they did
it's like
that with they ended up doing that with the Clone Wars. The first 3 seasons of Clone Wars are produced for Cartoon Network, and they're very washed down, childlike, for children. Then after that, they get progressively more and more adult as they get closer and closer to the point in time where they're going to be depicting Revenge of the Sith, which is supposed to be a very, very fucked up series of events.
mm-hmm.
It is. It's like the first piece of Star Wars media in the newer timeline since they got rid of the expanded universe to say, Jedi Order weren't really that great. Like the Jedi Order kind of just allowed Darth Sidious to do whatever the fuck he wanted behind the scenes, and maybe it wasn't the best idea.
Mm-hmm. What?
There's a whole episode where Yoda says that, and it's like that's
what? I'm trying to read Sean's comment and I don't understand it. The poor girl that was hanging upside down after her parents got offed by him and he gets upset with the girl for having snot coming out of her nose. I don't even know what. I don't watch these movies, so I don't know.
Birds of Prey kind of opens up with a scene of Black Mask and because he has Victor Zaz as his henchman, and he I forget what the family did. It's like a rival mob family or something. He has Victor Zaz cut the faces off of the girl's mom and dad, and then he's talking about her to Victor, and he's like, "Nah, let her live. We need to send a message." And then last minute, he's like, "You know what? Cut her face off too." And then walks out and is kind of happy with himself and skipping because he's an actual psychopath.
Okay.
And Black Canary ends up being his driver for a bit. There's this whole point where he gets mad because I think it's when Harley turns on him. He gets upset, so he makes this girl get up on a bar table because he thinks she's laughing at him, and she has her friend or her boyfriend or whatever cut her dress off of her while she's dancing on the stage for him. That's basically 2 seconds, 2 minutes shy of actually showing him sexually assaulting her.
Yep. What? Victoria Britannica very confused by this conversation. I think we're just we're talking about movies that aren't that or modern entertainment not really having any grit left in it, not really showing, not developing relationships, good or bad, and then also nothing being earned on screen, and not really depicting, evil. Hey, what's up? Tiger uppercut. What's up, Dicey? Whoa.
Yeah, it's not just Star Wars. Like Cold War is genuinely the worst, or Civil War is genuinely the worst superhero movie that I have ever seen.
I
Like
just
I would put it way, way below Suicide Squad.
little heavy? Nah, man. We always talk about this kind of stuff. Where you? We pretty much cover stuff like this when we're not talking about how hype we are to play Guild Ball. It's a late night stream, and this is what we do. Actually, this is. I don't know. I think Mark got on here and we started talking about Star Wars, but we were talking about earlier. We were talking about uh, BTS, right? Trying to
Yeah,
keep
Beach
track,
just covering Spice Girls.
which is still an awesome idea. All right. Yeah.
It's acceptable.
Complaining about modernity, dead horse. Eh, we still do it. It's something to talk about. I don't know. I don't really have any. Uh,
If CW
I don't know that there
can make
are
15 seasons of Supernatural, we can complain about.
modernity. Just
We
how
can complain about modernity.
somebody's watching all 15 seasons of that, though. All right, Victoria
God,
Britannica,
I
change the
gave up on
record.
season
Tell us,
5.
tell us our new thing that we're supposed to complain about. He doesn't like our topics ever, so tell us what we're gonna. Because
Can complain about J.K. Rowling.
I'm
She's
happy.
hilarious.
I'm happy to complain about anything, basically.
The well, so the well of J.K. Rowling never runs dry.
I just don't keep up with. I don't know. I don't keep up with Harry Potter shit. I'm like, I think that's a cultural blind spot to me.
I don't either. But J.K. Rowling is a hilarious human being and is generally the stupidest person in the entire goddamn world. She writes these books, right, that are very publicly catered to by, like, I don't want to say extreme leftists, but people by like progressives
Mm-hmm.
and have like progressive messages. So what did she do? She takes to Twitter complaining about how trans women somehow erase the are somehow not feminist and like erase the feminist goal
Uh-oh, we've
by
gone down
saying like
this. We've gone down
by
this
saying
road.
like
I'll
if
tell you.
gender doesn't matter, then what is feminism like? And just
Yeah.
genuinely just tweeting a bunch of like right leaning stuff like that because she wants to commit career suicide, I guess.
I don't think she has to at this point, right? She got her money. It's all good.
Yeah, but she could have been milking like she could have kept milking like
I'll
the
tell
Star
you
Wars at least for the fame. Now people don't even like want to talk about her.
what what bothers me with all this stuff is the the I remember about 20 years ago, people saying, you know, the personal is political, right? And 20 years ago, we told them to fuck right off. Like, go fuck yourself. We don't want to be part of that conversation. We want to enjoy things. You know, we're talking about entertainment. We're talking about this kind of stuff. The whole point of it was that you weren't talking about that for a minute, and you were focusing on things that people tend to unite or congregate around. Then that was anything. That was modern entertainment. It was sports. It was, you know, in our case, you know, comic books, hobbies, that kind of stuff. And the fact that that has spilled into all this, and I can't get away from it, that's what pisses me off. I want to be able to talk about, um, you know, what I like about hobbies and that kind of shit. And I want to, and I really don't care ultimately, you know, where people lie politically, but it's everybody has decided collectively that we're all going to be part of this argument, and that pisses me off more than anything. So that's that's the big disappointment. Was some fuckhead said that, like, actually that statement came about in the 60s, and they were trying to infuse politically, they were trying to infuse things into everything. That was at the same time that the Red Revolution happened in China, which is, there's a lot of pattern to what's going on there. And I was just lucky that in the 80s, everyone loves the 80s. You know what we got right about the 80s was there was shitty political shit going on. That's for damn sure. There was inequality. There was a lot of problems with the 80s. But you know what was great about the 80s? The fucking toys, the cartoons, the entertainment, the sports. When you look at you look at like some of the best age for anything in any of that shit, it was that time. It was the time between the 80s, well, actually even before that, the 70s to, to about 10 years ago. And then somewhere along the line, everyone decided, and all these companies decided that we're going to be moralistic and we're going to take a stand. And I just disagree with that. I came here to be entertained. I came here to enjoy something, to get away from all of that shit, because all that shit is not. You're not going to solve it. Reading a comic book or playing a video game or watching people play basketball. But suddenly now we have to fucking solve all that shit while all of this stuff is going on, and that's where I'm just like, fuck you guys, all of you. that's where I'm at.
It comes down to wanting to feel better about yourself than to actually do anything.
Right. You're absolutely right.
Like,
it is about that. It is about people kind of self-indulgently proclaiming that they're more moral than the person next to them, or that they've somehow done their part to save the world. But we're talking about areas here where the whole shining glory of them was the fact that it's entertainment, and that it was escapism, and that you can yes, you can actually address some things about yourself in them, but that wasn't the whole point. Was to get that off the table first and foremost, and get people around and unified around things that they like. But now you can't. Now everything has to have some shitty message around it. There's only one moral way to think, and if you're not part of that, you're part of the enemy. And like, guys, that's not a new thing. Okay, that's happened all throughout history. And really, what was it that took all of that stuff down? Right? Usually comedy. Usually a comedian would come in, like a George Carlin or somebody, would go and knock all that shit down and mock the people that thought that they were morally better than everybody else. But we can't even do that anymore, right? We don't even have like the comedic space to do that, because you can't even be funny anymore. Like, what happened? So, we want to complain about modernity. That's my complaint. Was it the person that came around and said the personal is political? That person needs to fucking shut up. Because they're wrong. They're wrong. And that's why we can't have nice things. And that's why entertainment sucks, is because everybody thinks that they have to prove, they need to include some moralistic message in whatever the hell they're doing, that it has to somehow save the world. You guys are in entertainment. You're non-fucking essential. Okay? Yes, you're non-essential. Be non-essential. Right? That's what you do. But anyways, that's my soapbox. That's my moralistic preaching about how shitty it is for people to be moralistically preaching. I'm reading the comments here. What is this? Okay. So more J.K. Rowling. Just heavy coming in the stream. J.K. Rowling is fine. She's a hard turf. I've got to get... Okay. Amazon's calling me. All right, see ya. But yeah, I don't know.
J.K. Rowling is a hilarious human being. Doesn't.
But if she were smart, and I agree with you, if she were smart, she needs to stick to telling stories about fucking British people waving chopsticks, right?
Right.
because
Like,
because people united around that. People.
I can say that I don't agree with J.K. Rowling, but the more point is that like you can't. How do you rally a fan base that's so obviously leans left, like hard left, and then decide to put out tweets like, trans women aren't women. It's like
Yeah.
it's career suicide on an epic scale. It's hilarious.
What were you expecting, right? Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's like if an NBA player said, basketball isn't really that great.
Actually, there are basketball players that have said that. You know,
Well, I don't know basketball because I'm
one
that
of my
gay.
favorite one of my favorite basketball players of all time was Allen Iverson. That guy was straight up thug life, and I'm the last person to kind of glorify that kind of mentality. But I did think it was super funny all the shit he got about not going, 100% in practice. And this guy played, he averaged the most minutes of any player in the NBA. He was a diminutive 6'0", which yes, that's small for
For a
the
basketball
NBA.
player.
And he played
Yeah.
most of his career injured because he fucking went all out every time he was on the floor. Right? Everyone loved that about AI. But when he would go to press conferences, people would give him shit that when that he didn't really give a shit about practice. He didn't go all out in practice, and he would talk shit back to the reporters. Like, you're talking to me about practice, that's like meme. Before memes existed, that was a thing. But I don't know. I guess that I don't know. I had a point somewhere in there. I lost it.
Thug life wherever.
Like, yeah, I don't know when the thing. So NBA, they're getting super political, and NFL and sports is getting super political, and their ratings are tanking hard. People, the NBA has lost something like 30 over almost 40% of its audience. The NFL is on a similar track. They're losing billions of dollars because everybody's got to make a stand. Everybody's got to say some shit, and people don't care, right? People want to see. They want to see sport. Like I don't. I want to see LeBron James. I want to see what he could do on the basketball court. I don't give a shit what he thinks politically, and especially if he's going to be like, "Oh, I support China. Fuck Hong Kong." Yeah, that guy can fucking shut up and like. Anyways, that's my problem. Is that it's now infiltrated everything, and you can't get away from it. It's luckily, luckily we play the miniatures games that no one gives a shit about, so we don't have to deal with the brunt of it. The 40K players do, which is good.
I think there was one guy when we were doing Alpha 1.5 that took issue with the zombie prostitutes.
Oh yeah, people still take issue with that. And I really like how Weird responded to that, though. There was that was early on, and then there was. Do you remember that blog post about the female wargamer where she just wrote a bunch of stories that just, if they're true, then it's super horrifying. But it seemed very comical, like almost like mustache twirling. A woman, eh?
Basically, the female quartering.
Like a almost, well, not quartering, like almost like a Jussie Smollett thing where it's like I'm just gonna accuse people of hate criming on my face, and that kind of stuff. Now, I don't want to victim blame or anything like that, but that seemed very. It seemed very, and and in fairness, it wasn't substantiated and that kind of thing. But the problem is this: it they were trying to use that to leverage against the company, Weird Miniatures. It's like, we make a miniatures game, okay? Assholes are going to be everywhere, and it doesn't matter. It could have happened. You could have been at you could have been at a Jamba Juice, right? Maybe some girl goes into Jamba Juice with yoga pants on or something, and creepy dude happens. And if it happened 2 or 3 times, does that mean Jamba Juice is responsible for that? Or do we just understand that creepy fucking dudes live everywhere? I don't know.
Well, I'd say Jamba Juice, because Jamba Juice hires creepy fucking people.
maybe my example is bad. Maybe Jamba Juice is at fault. Damn them.
No, it's like
it's weird that we try to bring this stuff into spaces that were, the whole point of that space was to be free of it, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's okay to harass people as part of a community. No, it's not. But I think the tactics that people use, and when you find out what their actual ultimate goal is around this, and where these things end up, you do understand that it's a net loss to everybody. So, perfect example of that is, I don't have the San Diego 40K group around here, but apparently, they've lost. They've had a lot of their meta torn apart over the stupidest crap.
Well, I'd say the best example ends up being the Jersey Smollett thing. So I remember when that was unfolding, I remember thinking, this famous guy happens to be hate crimed. There's no video. There's one video of it happening. It just so happened to be when he was walking down this New York street that happened to be abandoned at just the right time for there to be very little witnesses, for there to be no witnesses, while he's also trying to renegotiate his contract for money.
Yeah, I
for
think
more money. You can't tell me that those things weren't connected, and surprise, surprise, they were.
Dave Chappelle broke that whole thing down very, very expertly in his joke of it. But the really sad thing about, he's back in the news, by the way, Jesse Smollett. Because he heard Nancy Pelosi's deal about it being a setup, and he's like, ooh, mine was too. And so he's trying to ride that train also. That's awesome. But
he's a fucking asshole.
Anyway.
He used to just go back to whatever rock he crawled out under.
That is amazing. I don't know. I take a... Octave, I love my zombie prostitutes. You should, man. Okay, so Malifaux is a depiction of... It's obviously Weird West, Gothic horror, whatnot, but it's a depiction of the Old West. And if you're going to say, none of that stuff existed in the Old West, and also, by the way, those zombie prostitutes and Seamus is a direct reference to Jack the Ripper, right? So how do you tell the legend of Jack the Ripper without including a prostitute? That's the entire deal. That would be like, next up on the Disney Channel, Jack the Ripper, and right, and they would gentrify Jack the Ripper
It's actually just about a cartoon fox that farts a lot.
Now, if you want to hear some like a really messed up thing, what if they were like, "Oh, I know, everyone loves Jack the Ripper. Let's do a feminist Jack the Ripper," and they had a female Jack the Ripper, and Jack Hay the Ripper, as played by actress Jack Hay, and
Jackie
they decided,
the Ripper.
yeah, and they decided, they're going to make it a musical about a woman who fights the evil men on the streets, and you're like, then why not just start over, just make a story about that?
She
Why
horribly
even
murders
like
men.
why even bother?
People screaming, "Yas, queen!"
It's like she kills up she kills male prostitutes, but their customers are males. Oh, she kills the customers too. Okay. It's on the Disney Channel. It's on the Disney Channel. But that's the kind of the idea. That's like where marketing goes these days. It's like, oh, that's people really like that. People are fascinated by Jack the Ripper. I've got an idea. Let's turn it on its head. Let's tell a totally different story, and we'll just call it Jack the Ripper. But little kids need to watch it. We got to have it on the Disney Channel, and it's got to be all this. That's the problem.
Disney.
If you just said, "Hey, we're gonna make this," and there are plenty of great movies about Jack the Ripper, and there are miniseries about Jack the Ripper. You could do that's a fascinating topic. But if you're gonna cover that, then cover it. Like understand that the whole reason why people were fascinated by that is because it's such a dark, messed up chapter in history, and you can't gentrify that. I think I'm worried about kids walking away with just the most fucked up messages about stuff. If you gentrified everything, right? If you made everything, somehow edifying and okay for kids, and people are like, Jack the Ripper. If my son Jimmy's dressing up as Jack the Ripper for Halloween because he saw it on the Disney Channel, right? I don't understand. I don't. Well, if you're gonna tell something dark, tell the damn dark story, and make sure imagine. Oh shit! I just had the most messed up story pop through my head. Damn. So imagine. So imagine they're working on Jack the Ripper for the Disney Channel, and they said, they're like, oh, we're going to turn it on its head. This is about female empowerment. And they end up telling the Casey Anthony story.
God. Give that mouse any ideas.
But I could see that happening.
An animated show.
Somebody record this segment, because that shit's going to happen on the Disney Channel in T-5 years. It's going to happen.
An animated show about Casey Anthony, right? That ends up depicting the whole thing as just like, oop, I misplaced my daughter.
Yeah.
And then it turns out the daughter's alive. And then ends up like a laugh track.
We're gonna tell the we're gonna tell the story of Helter Skelter, the Charles Manson story, starring Jack Black. It's gonna be great.
You know what? That might actually be brilliant. That might actually be something I need to see.
By the way, I was watching Nacho Libre clips the other day, and I don't care how many people hate Nacho Libre. I fucking love Nacho Libre. That movie is glorious. I don't care how many people hate it. I was watching a lot of Nacho Libre and the Three Amigos for some reason.
It's an interesting mix.
It's all, let's just have white people in movies about Mexico. And I'm like, okay, let's watch those movies.
Well, let's get Jack Black to play a Kung Fu Panda.
Hey.
Sure, okay.
And Dustin Hoffman was his sensei, man. It's
Jackie Chan? Never heard of him.
Jackie Chan he plays a monkey in that movie.
Does he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Jackie Chan's in that movie, and James Hong plays Jack Black's dad. who is the judgmental. He's like a judgmental duck that makes these special noodles. like, I'm like, yeah,
Judgmental.
kind of.
Judgmental. It ends up being that his father is like his adoptive father, to the surprise of literally fucking nobody.
Yeah, I
The
love
adoptive father, a judgmental adoptive father goose is like the greatest character synopsis you could ever give.
I love that the judgmental uh, Asian uncles and parents and stuff is finally starting to get the media coverage it deserves. That we're starting to get channels like Uncle Roger and all that stuff on our. I was like, finally, we've been talking about that on this feed for like 8 years about judgmental Asian parents. Dicey's worried that we're getting racial. It's okay, man. It's all right. This is Dicey. This is I'm gonna brag and I'm gonna use all of my buddies here as shields. This is the most diverse miniature gaming stream on YouTube. I guarantee it. I guarantee we tick all the boxes. We got gay people on, get black people on. We are this is it. You want to see like we have more gay and black people on my show than like the next 40k tournaments combined. Which is that's kind of a statement unto itself, isn't it? But yeah, it's true. We tick the boxes, man. I don't know why it's actually rather depressing that that's a bragging point. It really shouldn't be, but right. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yes, I love Nacho Libre. I just think it's such a great. It's just such a good movie, man. All right, so. Oh my gosh, I just saw a picture of Relic Knights. Why? We could bring up that old
Yeah,
that
if
old
you really
chestnut.
want us to start kicking dead horses,
You really want to talk about yeah, shit that we rant on this channel.
I have more than enough venom left in me for Soda Pop to go on a tangent about those
Dicey,
assholes.
I was just talking about ginger representation here. Here we go. Here's an angry ginger guy, and then Dicey is our resident ginger guy. Although locally we have the race of gingers, the Dan Weber ginger.
We have to get the Dan Weber back to the land of the Dan Webers.
Yep.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Sean talking about Monster Apocalypse. Oh man. I'm okay. So Nelson's explaining he's Asian. He loves Asian. Yeah, I have to explain this to a lot of people that aren't hardcore weebs like Mark. That nobody thinks Asian jokes are funnier than Asian people. It's true. We think that shit is way funnier than you do. So it doesn't. Nobody's really upset about that.
That is true.
And we just did call Mark a weeb on stream, which is to the surprise of no people that know Mark.
Well, I've owned my title at this point.
But I don't know. I think weeb has kind of been tainted though. I do, and I hate to be a gatekeeper. I don't want to be one of those kind of people. But I feel like there was kind of like a special sacred place for weebs back in the day, and then it became hipster to be weeb, and then I don't even know where the hell it is now. I guess that trend went away for the most part.
It's kind of just co-opted by well, the history of weebery is fascinating. For a while, it was co-opted by like hipsters, like
yeah, there
people
was.
who would maybe watch like an isekai anime, and then, oh, I'm such a nerd, lol.
It's
And then it was
Sword
the
Art Online,
neckbeards.
bro. Yeah.
And then it was the neckbeards. I know it's
Yeah.
kind of come back around, and then no, it didn't come back. Right? It's kind of con to people who like.
I guess the question is,
I don't know. The
do
only way I
people
can
even
describe
use
them is simp.
simping? But I mean, do people even use the term anymore? Because I haven't heard the term weeb. Like, I might be the only person left that
Not
still.
unironically.
Yeah.
I've never heard it unironically.
Yeah. Who was that? I was
Anyway.
talking to the other day. We were talking about before weeb, the term weeb existed, that it was all otaku, and that there really wasn't a specific term. It was just you're just an otaku. And then before neat existed, it was hikikomori. Um, who
I know
was
it's
that?
incel.
Now it's incel. But I feel like hikikomori and neat I feel like that's on a different. It's on a slightly different plane than incel. I think incel takes you to a little bit of a darker place than either of those other two terms do. But I don't know.
Yeah, I believe that.
I don't understand things. I'm an old. You guys are gonna have to forgive my crude Gen X nature. We still like our sideburns and music videos. Like, we still. Oh, Dicey's never heard what a weeb is. Yeah, because he's Dicey's Norwegian. He doesn't. Uh, so basically, Dicey, a weeb is a term that was used to describe. Basically, it specifically was around, I guess, Westerners or white people that um, were fascinated by Japanese culture, but most specifically, like anime, uh, the anime culture. That's where it started, but the term weeb has kind of broadened to be almost any Westerner that is, deeply obsessed with some part of Asian culture. So it's a much broader term. I was talking to Yvonne about this because she's like really into Korean shit. So I was like, does that make you a Korea boo? And she's like, yeah, that's the more specific, because she's not so much into as much into the Japanese side of stuff, but she's really into the Korean side of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I think that's the term, right? Korea boo. Uh, yeah, Dicey, Dicey, you're technically a weeb, man. Yeah, that's that is true. But
So not like
Mark here is like a dyed in the wool classic. They don't make this kind anymore. Like the dyed in the wool classically trained, right? Like,
I'm one of a kind.
yeah, well, no, I'm just saying you're the older model. You're the classic model. You
Oh
still
yeah,
have you still have the original leather and the stock wheels. Like, right, you still have you still have all that stuff classically trained in the uh, in the weeb arts, right?
I remember when our slice of life anime were actually good and watchable, like Lucky Star and the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Now it's all just boring romance bullshit.
Did you watch that show that I was watching? That I stopped watching. I just lost interest in it. Science types fell in love, so they started an experiment. Have you seen? Check
I've
it out.
seen
It's
so
on
many gifs for
Crunchyroll.
that I hate it.
It's
I already hate it.
actually, I would say it's actually like half watchable. I think you would watch it though, frankly. I think you'd watch it and then be mad at me after you finished it. But then so you'd be mad, but then you'd still have good things to say about certain characters. I think, like, oh no, I really like that character.
Oh, so it's gonna be it's gonna be Ruby
Yeah, it's
all
gonna be
over
Ruby.
again.
Yeah, you totally need to watch it. I need to finish it, but I don't. I haven't, like, luckily I haven't sat down in front of like a screen and watched anything other than work. So I've been lucky in that regard, and painted miniatures, which I don't know. I'm thinking, should I do the stars on his vest? I think I would screw it up. I think it looks cool without the stars. You guys tell me. Yeah. But can we point out that I still really think Lacy Green is hilarious? The pitchfork. So Shadowcat's talking about, you remember some of the live action stuff based on manga. Okay, so here's the interesting thing too, right? So Sean, he spent a fair bit of his formative years over in Japan as well, or Okinawa, I forget. And so he's also classically trained, but Sean's his background is more tokusatsu. So if you're talking like Power Rangers or Kamen Rider or that kind of stuff, that's where Sean is at. So we have Sean is also, I don't think he can be considered a weeaboo, because in order to be a weeaboo, you have to, I think you have to have a certain grounding in enough grounding in Western civilization, and not enough grounding like, yeah, Okinawa, right. So the fact that you spent a lot of your formative years there, I think absolves you from some of the, because you know what I mean? I'm not explaining this well at all, but
Yeah.
right, because it's a different perspective. Like he grew up in the environment, and it wasn't about celebrating it from a different from a different cultural angle. He was actually there, and he grew up in that angle. So
He was never alienated in school because he liked anime.
yeah, it's a weird. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy for that. Right.
Well, well, I know enough about the Power Rangers and like the Super Sentai stuff to know that it's not my wheelhouse. And also, I do not know enough about it to make any kind of comment on what it is or is not a good Sentai series.
Right. I would rely entirely on Sean's judgment for that kind of stuff. Right. Like I usually ask you like, what's a good anime to watch, and then Sean would be able to tell me a lot of the live action and that kind of stuff, that end of it. And then we don't have like the massive Gunpla expert, which is kind of that's kind of another arena entirely, or the people that
could be, because I used to be big into Gundam and mecha anime, but there hasn't really been a mecha anime that's come out that has caught my eye, because it kind of all just becomes like, with the exception of like Iron-Blooded Orphans, maybe it's like all the same, like these two. Like it's just a love story. Like,
but that's
with a lot of anime now. It's like it's a love story. Like a lot of media in general. I was just talking to one of my friends about this. Everything has to have some kind of romance, no matter how nonsensical, no matter how forced it has to be. There has to be some romance, because God knows we have to relate to every human being on the face of the earth.
Yes, you have to. All right, see you, Dicey. He's gonna take his 4-year-old to daycare. Cool. Have a good one, man. Thanks for tuning in. He was engrossed in the normalized culture. Gatchaman, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider. Gatchaman was great. I didn't get to watch nearly as much of that as I wanted to. I had to grow up around Battle of the Planets. I always get, who is 7's Arc 7? What is this? Show us the guys doing the Fiery Phoenix, please.
I only really watched Power Rangers, and I only watched it up until the the Mystic Force one, where they're like wizards. And then I got really into anime, and that's the hell I've been living in for the last number of years of my lifetime.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking to somebody about who was that? I was talking to Nathan uh, about Fate, the Fate series, and
First
how
thing you have to understand about the Fate series is you will never understand the Fate series.
yes, and I told Nathan that you are a field expert on the Fate series, and that and I stayed away from all apocrypha and basically just stuck with Fate Zero and the original Fate Stay Night and UBW. That's as far as I went with Fate, but
I
you know,
really, they haven't, like, they've been doing Heaven's Feel, which is the third route from the original Stay Night visual novel, and it is
mhm.
genuinely the darkest and most fucked up route in that entire game. And I've been really wanting to see the movies, but they're not being put on streaming services. It's like,
Ah,
fuck me, I guess.
people, I gave up on. Wait, there's a lot of cool comments. Oh, thanks, Nelson. Uh, I grew up on Fate. People who love it more than me. I gave up. People got too many waifus.
My first tip for anybody trying to get into the Fate universe is that you will never understand everything that's going on. Just give up.
Just be a
Like
tourist like
Evangelion,
me.
you will never understand everything that's happening. Like, where, well, like, the series themselves are watchable and, they're not, like, overly complex, but where everything takes place in, like, the wider universal timeline, you're never going to figure that out. You are never, ever going to figure that out. Like, there's one, like, Apocrypha is its own little closed-off universe. There's a magical girl anime that stars Iliasville and the Emios and Irisville that takes place in its own universe. There's another one where the servant system is kind of like a Power Ranger system, where they get servant cars and they load themselves up with them and they become like infused with that historical figure. That is also its own separate universe. The mobile game Fate Grand Order is basically its own separate universe.
Ralph?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
But at the
mostly
same
like.
time, there are
Yeah.
themes and like key events that tie into each and every one of them. And this kind of makes sense when you go back to another UFO table VN called Tsukihime, I believe,
I just like Fate
that takes
Zero.
place in the universe. But the important thing is that Schweinorg appears in Tsukihime and in Heaven's Feel, and Schweinorg is the only mage to be able to master a magic called Kaleidoscope, which lets him view and travel to alternate realities. I genuinely hate that I know as much of this as I do. I really do. Because this is just useless knowledge. Like, so much of my brain is taken up with Fate, just random, pointless facts that I genuinely wonder if I could be, like, if I could cure cancer if I didn't devote myself to the religion of fate.
Yeah, but you would have to be that obsessed with cancer. But yes, you could cure cancer if you were that obsessed with cancer. If you and you were like, but then you would be well on your way, and then someone would show you, a Fate anime, and then they would ruin your life,
It's just a
basically.
keystone in my life. No
Yeah,
matter what path I take, I have to end up becoming obsessed with fate
I do
and
want to go
other
back
shit.
and watch Fate Zero again because that is my favorite one, and
Fate
uh,
Zero is really good.
but I
Apocrypha's okay.
yeah.
Apocrypha's alright. It's just too short because it tries to encapsulate 14 arcs into 12 episodes or 24 episodes, I think, and it just ends up really not working. Like you don't see the part where Shakespeare says that he's going to use his noble phantasm to write a love story for Achilles and Atalante, and that's why towards the end of this series, all just goes fucking berserk and decides that I'm going to use this. I'm going to use my noble phantasm that turns me into a berserker because I just have to kill. I just have to try and kill Joan of Arc, and why he ends up being the one to have to kill her because it's a Shakespeare love story. It's a tragedy,
Hmm.
and they hint at what happens. They hint at Shakespeare's kind of behind the scenes using his noble phantasm to write stories that the he's kind of like the meta narrator for what's happening, but they never show as much as they need to make that kind of work. It's only like my third watch of that anime that I figured out that
Hmm.
he controlled Jack to upset Atalante so he could control Atalante so he could ultimately have Achilles, who had fallen in love with her, kill her and thus fulfill his most recent tragedy love story. Because pretty much all of Shakespeare's plays end in lovers being killed one way or another.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like the summary of Midsummer's Night Dream is kind of hilarious because it's basically Titania and Oberon taking turns trying to troll one another until until they make up, and they end up just killing every single human who ends up involved in their little bizarre love hate relationship.
That's an
I,
yeah, yeah.
I did that play when I was in middle school.
Cool.
Yeah. TLDR, I know too much about the Fate universe, and
Yes.
genuinely, if I could replace this knowledge with anything more useful, I would in a heartbeat. But I will always have like 2/3 of my brain dedicated to the Fate universe, which is not just the Fate anime. There's
Uh-huh.
like 8 other anime and visual novels that supplement each other.
Okay. Well, what is it? 11:30. I'm gonna go to bed. That's that's where we're at. Oh, my kid fell asleep. Okay, cool. That's good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. You will have to you will have to give us the formal fate. You'll have to give us the formal fate breakdowns at some point.
I could make a video series breaking down
You should.
the Fate series. I really should, because it would actually be like,
People would totally
right?
watch that. Yeah, I've seen
It would
other
actually
people
be right,
attempt it. I've seen other people attempt to do it, and it it's just you just get lost
but
immediately.
they're always dumb and wrong.
It's just not entertaining enough to like, you got to stick with they're trying to keep you on basically a non linear story, and they're just not in. The presenter isn't entertaining enough to keep you on track. That's what I've noticed. It's like they're explaining everything, but it's just not. You're like, okay, I've tuned out already, not interested. So, but it needs to happen because nobody. I don't feel like it's been covered well enough. So
Well, most people don't even know Tsukihime ties into the how Tsukihime ties into the Fate universe. People just assume that, oh yeah, the universe starts with Fate Zero. No, no, it doesn't. And then there's a Garden of Sinners, and like try to figure out where the hell that fits into this storied little timeline.
oh man. All right. Well, it is time to go to bed. Thanks for joining everybody and letting us rant and paint miniatures. So I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for hopping on, Mark. We'll talk to you later, dude. Good night. And on